Our voices need to be heard. I am so tired of ADHD people getting shoved to the side because they're not productive or not seen as superstars or whatever. We're superstars in our own right.
ADHD Rewired. This is episode number 40. This is the show designed to help those of us who have really good intentions and a slightly wandering attention. Whether you have ADHD and you want to learn more about it, or you are looking for ways to organize your time, your things, or the many details of life so you can get more done, this show is for you. My name is Eric Tivers. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, coach, and consultant. We know that starting can be the hardest part, so let's get started. But first, let me thank our sponsor.
Audible.
What? You haven't got your free download yet? Come on, go to audibletrial.com/ADHD Rewired for your free audiobook download. Audibletrial.com/ADHD Rewired. Do you want to get your ADHD rewired? Let me know you are interested in the next ADHD Rewired coaching and accountability group. You can let me know at my website. Go to erictivers.com/coaching rewired. That's erictivers.com/coaching rewired. Hello, ADHD Rewired listeners. Eric Tivers here with episode number 40. That just seems really cool to me that I've now on episode number 40. And I am excited to bring you this episode. This episode is another episode from the CHAD conference with Deshaun Wirt. And we sat down at the conference and talked about a number of things, including an upcoming conference for the ACO, which is the ADHD Coaches Organization. And so she is part of planning that. So she is kind of she's on a mission to get people to know about this conference. She's also a coach. And one of the things that I really liked about our conversation, which I will bring to you in just a moment, is just how we were each kind of talking about our strengths and our challenges and how we're both okay with our challenges because we know that we have a lot of strengths and a lot to offer. So I think it's really that positive message, and I think that you will enjoy it. So without any further delay, here is the interview with Deshaun Wirt. Welcome to another episode of ADHD Rewired. I'm sitting with Deshaun Wirt from something Indiana. I can't remember writing. Thank you.
Tiny town, Sweetser.
From Indiana. She is a coach. You can find out about her at her website at youraddAnswers.com. It's plural answers. Mm-hmm. So you answer more than one question.
Yes.
That's great. So she's a coach. She has ADHD herself. This is actually the second episode, or the second conversation I'm having at the 2014 CHAD conference, and we were talking online. I think, was it through LinkedIn that we connected?
Actually, it was through one of our ADHD blog groups.
Okay.
To technology and apps. And,
yes. I like that group.
I know you do.
Yeah. So one of the things that you're doing and that you shared with me is that you are, I think the word you used was a minion.
Yes.
for the ACO conference, which is coming up in May?
You're right.
I'm going to let you go.
I'm going to take over. It's May of 2015, the 1st through the 3rd. And it's the ACO is a coaches organization for attention deficit coaches, and been around for about 10 years. And in fact, this will be our 10th conference. And just really excited about what's happening. I am one of many working on this. So, in fact, I'm the only one that could happen to be here at the CHAD conference. So wanted to kind of share information with everybody about putting it on your calendars, getting out there, and showing up, because it's a great, outstanding group. People from all over the world come. It's an international conference, and it's nice and intimate, and we want everybody there.
Do you have any headline speakers yet?
I honestly, they have some people, but I don't know that everything's completed. But they are some people that are...
So you didn't give me the list of questions I shouldn't ask you yet?
Sorry, I'd have to kill you later. I'm so sorry.
So under your ADD answers, it's not, don't ask me this question.
Well, I try to be personal and answer your questions, but unfortunately, I can't go for ACO answers at this point in time. But it's going to be released, I'm sure, very shortly. So you'll have to go to our website at aco.com.
Okay. So how long have you been a coach for?
Approximately 2 years. Been working towards it for over 4. I've done my training through Jody and had a lot of experience.
Now, people listening are not Jody.
Okay.
Who's Jody?
Jody. I always get the Jody
sleeper
triplet or tripler sleep. I can't remember the actual order, but yes, Jody, who does a lot of great work with a lot of coaches, especially her focuses on teens and young children above the age of 10. I shouldn't say really young, but yeah. Worked in school corporations, was an administrator for a long time, and really saw the need. I saw parents struggling. They couldn't get the accommodations needed for their kids. And so the opportunity opened itself up that I could become a coach, and I jumped in and took it and have loved it ever since.
Well, that's great. So tell me a little bit about how you manage the kind of the management part of your practice, because I know that a lot of my community, well, I don't know about a lot of it, I know there's a number of people in my ADHD Rewired community who are either coaches themselves or are currently in coach training. So, they might be wondering, because they themselves also have ADHD, maybe they are good and enjoy working with the clients, but it's it's a business, and managing business has a lot of details that are involved in it. What are some of the challenges that you have in managing your business of having a coaching practice?
Well, I know that when I left my administration position, I remember thinking, I want to work smarter, not harder, because my go-to strategies was stay longer, work harder. Those were the only two I had.
I did that one for years and years, and I still sometimes do.
And it wasn't until, I had a health issue that came, and really, you have a health issue, you can't stay longer, you can't work harder, you are at full capacity, and it's not full capacity. So one of the things I think that really helped me was getting the diagnosis, because I kept thinking I was crazy. Why am I not able to accomplish everything that I felt like I used to? Well, it was because I stayed longer, worked harder. So I think one of the things that helps me in my business is being very clear on what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And I've learned to delegate. I just know there are certain things that aren't worth my time, and I need to pass them on to someone who is more skilled at that and can get it done faster.
So I often talk about red zones and green zones. Red zones are the stuff that is just so hard for us to do. Even if we can do it, it's taxing.
It's not worth it.
For me, my red zone is going through piles of paperwork, opening mail, and doing my billing. Those are my red zone stuff. What are your red zones?
Pretty much, you nailed it. I would say that computer technology also is one of my hang-ups. Smartphones have revolutionized my production. In fact, I think I have addiction because of my production. I never got this much done before.
Tell me how. Tell me, how do you use your smartphone? Because that's a big thing on this podcast, is talking about technology, and that's what I'm actually presenting on.
That's right. You do a lot of you do very good work in helping people understand how to use apps. For me, it's just the accessibility of my calendar, the mobility piece of I can pull up addresses. Those details, I would, walk out the door with my keys and go, oh, crap, where am I going? What's the name of the place again? I can do a search. I can pull that stuff up. So it's revolutionized. It's become my external brain. I
describe it that way as well. That's awesome.
I've written about my external brain all the time. And people keep saying, well, smartphones make us dumber. And I'm like, smartphones have propelled me to more production. So I can understand maybe if you didn't have executive function issues that got in the way, maybe it would make you dumber. But for me, it has really been able to improve the output and the quality of my work. I love Google+. I love all the Google Docs. It's all there. I pull up, I type in a word. I don't have to remember what file I put it in.
Yeah.
I just love everything about Google.
Do you tag your documents?
I don't. You can teach me how to do that. I'm not, and maybe I do, and I don't realize it, Eric.
So tagging, when we think about tagging, it's often used with like Evernote, and with the what I like about tagging, and I think I've explained this on a prior episode. So when you get that bill from your doctor, does it go in doctor, medical, eye doctor, the name of the doctor, the name of the practice? With tagging, yes, it can go on all of those. Okay. So you quickly look at what are the 3, 4, 5 things. It could be this, or this, and then when you're going back to retrieve it.
It comes up.
Yeah, it comes up.
Well, and I think maybe I don't do that because I can remember a keyword. So that's exactly what I do. I don't do that, but I think maybe my executive function allows me to remember little key details about certain things. I can look up things by the date, when I know they come in. I can, from the person who sent it to me, all those things. So that bodes me well. I don't know that that's, everybody's different. You know that.
So how do you do your billing?
I do it myself because I'm bootstrapping it. But yeah, I actually use PayPal. I use online PayPal. It's pretty much online bill pay.
Okay.
And it's easy
to... do you automate, or do you have it where you create
I create it. For me, I create it because I like knowing it's done. If I don't know it's done, it bugs me. So that's something I wouldn't pass on unless I get like totally crazy. And I keep busy enough as it is, but that's something that I feel I need to keep. So it's cognizant, because if it's out of sight, out of mind for me, I can totally lose track of it. Keeps me. I know how many sessions that person has. I can talk coherently to them because I do that piece.
Now, is your coaching face-to-face or is it virtual?
It's face-to-face. It's through Skype if I need be. I've had clients all over the world, so the hardest part is the time zone management. But I mean, I use what works for me. I know what
and that's the heart of ADHD management. Do what works for you. What works for me might not work for you. And that's what. And I share this a lot on the podcast, is that I've read so many ADHD books and ADHD management books, and I've learned a ton from them. But in the last year or two, I've really been stepping outside of the ADHD world and looking into just the productivity world. What are the productivity experts talking about, and what are they doing? And there are going to be certain pieces to what I read that I'm like, that doesn't apply to me, and I couldn't even do that if I wanted to. But that doesn't matter, because I get gems from each part of it. My talk this weekend is about getting things done. So it borrows a little bit from kind of David Allen's, but I think, so what I really got from David Allen's getting things done method is that I was capturing everything, but I wasn't processing any of it. So I have these incredible inboxes.
Yeah.
That I almost needed like a storage unit for it.
Okay.
So I realized that, and then I tried to develop systems that were, because I don't like going in the inboxes, or it's detail oriented, it's boring, it's I'd rather kind of watch paint dry.
Yes, totally get it.
So, and I realized that the best way to do it is every day, because I'm not going to like it whether I do it once a month, once a week, or once a day. But it's less painless once a day.
Yeah, and it is good to tag those things, like you said, daily, weekly, monthly. I have to put those in my planner, monthly things especially, because for me, a month goes by and I don't, it's like, thank goodness we have holidays. We're just like, oh my God, it's Thanksgiving next week. It keeps me on track. I have terrible time blindness. So I use timers when I'm coaching, so that I know that, because I really get into my clients, our conversations, and it's very fascinating. Yeah. And so I really have to be very cognizant of time, because, that's why I got into it, is because I can help them, and that's where the conversation and the good stuff comes from, is those conversations. But it's a business, so you have to be mindful of your time and make sure everybody gets the same amount of what they paid for.
Exactly.
You want to give good value, and that means following your own rules.
Yeah. And is that hard for you sometimes?
Yeah, because I'm also passionate about it, and I want to help everybody. And so, when you're first starting out, it's like, yeah, I'll help you, and it kind of takes you a while to figure out what's acceptable and what's not acceptable to you, and what your parameters are. But I think once you set them, that's what makes you a professional. That, keeping to your word and making sure that you're following what you said you did. That integrity is a really important part of ADHD coaching. And it can be one of those things that slip with a lot of ADHDers, that integrity piece. So I really focus on that too as well.
So what's something now that one of my areas of that I really still struggle with is putting on the brakes at night. I want to go home at 8 o'clock. Next thing I know, it's 9, 10, 11. Crap, it's 12. I need to, even today, I refer to how I'm feeling right now as I have half a brain right now. I knew all week how important my sleep was this week because of the CHAD conference. And for the last few days, I did pretty well, except for last night.
I know. You Facebooked me at 12:35. True confessions time.
It's like my brain just, and the thing is, and there was part of me too that like every time I have a conference or something big going to, like I know it's like I have a hard time as it is with my brain winding down, and then when I have these big events, it's like all those things that would have been really nice to think about like a few weeks ago come to me like the night before at like 10, 11 o'clock.
That urgency hits you the night before.
And it's it's frustrating because I'm all about creating systems to manage it. But when you have these kind of one-off things, it's hard to create systems for that. It's almost like this information's locked in that. We looked at executive functioning through your ability to see time into the future. And so when it's these kinds of situations, it's hard.
It is hard to see around corners. Now, I don't have a hard time seeing around corners for my clients, because we've been there.
Yes.
It's kind of like I can look back, but when it's me in the moment, I have a hard time looking forward and figuring out things. And your question was what exactly? Because I was agreeing with you so much. I was like, yeah, me too. You know what? I think what we were talking about was how do we watch what we're doing when we know we have these big events. And you know what? I have learned I just enjoy my big events.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy the excitement. I've been looking so forward to this conference as well. And I love meeting people. That's my strength. That's my place of strength, and I'm going to go with it. And would it be nice if I had extra sleep? But I'm just going to enjoy the moment. And that's one of the things that ADHD has helped me to learn to do is enjoy who I am, enjoy what I bring to the table, and it's given me a passion to help others. I knew I was put here to help people, and it's so exciting to help people who were really struggling. It's really exciting.
Yeah, that's great. Let me just take a quick moment right here to jump in to thank our sponsor.
AudibleTrial.com/ADHD Rewired for your free download. Trial.com/ADHD Rewired. Trial.com/ADHD Rewired.
Go to audibletrial.com/ADHD Rewired for your free audiobook download. Deshaun and I both share the passion of helping others. One of the ways I do this is through this podcast, which was actually the catalyst for launching the ADHD Rewired Coaching and Accountability Group. ADHD Rewired Coaching and Accountability is a high-intensity coaching program that is done through a secret Facebook group with regular coaching calls that you can easily connect to at your computer so you could see who was talking, or you can just call in if you're on the go. I created the group that I would want for myself. And now that I've just finished up the first group, this next group is set to be even better. With coaching calls up to 5 days a week and having an accountability partner to check in with multiple times a day, it's no wonder why the members of the first ADHD Rewired Coaching and Accountability Group have been so productive. I've already started receiving a number of emails from people expressing their interest in this group. And if you are ready to take your ADHD management and your productivity to the next level, go to erictivers.com/coaching rewired to see a brief video and to let me know that you are ready to get your ADHD rewired. That's erictivers.com/coaching rewired. And we are back. I just took a quick break I'll put my sponsor plug in later, and I had to go do something with the door. And then as I'm about to push play, Deshawn asked me for a pen so she could write down a word. And what's the word you just wrote down?
Codega.
Which I then commented, the first thing I thought was bodega.
Well, and I agreed with you, but it's actually probably from the Spanish root word, and I'm not sure what dega means, but codega is part of what we're using as a lantern. It was a medieval job that happened in the dark alleys and no terrible places people would walk. Rich people would buy a codega who would walk in front of them with a lantern to keep them safe. And so that is actually the vision or the inspiration for our ACO conference. It's coming up in May.
Wait, so it's just for rich people?
Oh, no. It's for anybody. It's for anybody.
I have to go there. So codega.
The codega, yes. And actually, we're saying that we're lighting the way because ADHD coaching is about lighting the way for our clients. Mm-hmm. It's about lighting the way and helping people understand what ADHD really is. It's not fake and phony. It's actually a true thing that's out there.
I mean, if you just tried harder and really cared?
Well, we both had the stay longer, work harder, and where to get us. Right. It wears us out.
It's kept us there longer and we worked harder.
And had no life afterwards.
Right.
So, but yeah, we're really trying to help coaches, especially it's ADHD coaches, physicians, psychiatrists, mental health field, understand ADHD better. I know I do a lot of training with mental health people. Some people are very unaware of executive functions and may not have ideas of strategy. This is a great place to get the latest ADHD information. But we're also excited about the business side. We're going to do a lot about the entrepreneurial brain at the conference. So I know you have a lot of listeners who have an entrepreneurial brain, and they may be interested in the Phoenix area, especially attending in May. But we're really going to be doing a lot of stuff about growing your business if you have ADHD.
That's great. I think that's so important too. So I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and you know how many classes I had about practice management in my business?
No.
0.
I was going to say 1.
Which is a disservice to our clients.
It is.
Because if we're struggling to try to run a business, then it's not going to. Then we're going to be not as attentive to our clients.
Our voices need to be heard. I am so tired of ADHD people getting shoved to the side because they're not productive or not seen as superstars or whatever. We're superstars in our own right, and we need to find a way. We have things to say, and we're very talented. And that, I think, is the shame of ADHD, if there is one, is that lights really can't shine and people can really not be who they're meant to be because they're trying so hard to live in a world that's not built for them.
Yes.
So build it for yourself, people.
My wife and I have a little placard in our home that was lovingly given to us by my father-in-law, and it says, masquerading as normal day after day is exhausting.
It is.
It
is. And when you get to be yourself, you get so much more done, and your quality of life just goes out the roof.
I feel so privileged to be able to be working in this field, and I am completely out of the closet about my ADHD, which is also in a lot of ways it's a good business strategy, but it also allows me to be fully me.
Yeah.
And which is huge.
That's my favorite part of having ADHD. I no longer put up the pretense. This is what I'm good at. This is how I can contribute to the group. If you want me, this is how I will totally blow it out of the water. But if you want me to sit quiet, be still, and turn in paperwork, you're asking the wrong person. Right. I'm not, and I will not fulfill that role for you.
And I think that entrepreneurship is such a good track for people with ADHD. But it also means you get to learn how to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because I know that I would not be running a successful practice the way that I am if I was not willing to ask for help.
Or delegate.
Delegate. I had someone helping me with my billing. For my first 6 months when I was in practice, I was taking insurance. I was having panic attacks because I didn't understand it, and it was so overwhelming, and the rules changed based on every. And I was like, if I'm going to continue, I love the clinical work, but if I was going to continue with doing this, I can't do this anymore. And so I did. I made that decision, and I haven't turned back. And
you've been able to sleep at night, huh?
It's helped, I guess. Wow. So it's learning how to be okay. So you know what? I'm not good at that, and that's okay because this is what I am good at. And if it's a responsibility that I need to attend to, I have to figure out another way to do it, but it doesn't need to be the try harder approach.
No. And what you said reminded me of something, and quite frankly, it slipped my mind. But I really think the value that I have gotten out of having ADHD is really embracing myself. You don't have to be a well-rounded individual to get through this world, and especially now with the technology and the access to information. And when I hear of people who are still struggling, I just it's so unnecessary.
Right.
And that's why ADHD coaching is so important to me, because people shouldn't be struggling. You should be learning how to live with yourself. That's not what I mean, but you should be learning how your mind works, your brain functions, and what you want. When you know what you want and how your brain functions, you'll get there. You will get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I love about ADHD coaching, because I help people understand what is it you want and what do you got, and we'll come up with the resources together. So
Deshawn, every once in a while on the show, I do a part of the show that I call the random question round, and you just strike me as someone who would be a good candidate to do this.
All right.
So this is the part of the show that has nothing to do with ADHD, which then paradoxically has everything to do with ADHD.
Okay.
Which
I'll be on my best behavior.
Okay, and I haven't planned for this. So now with not as much sleep as I should have had, I got to randomly think of some questions. But I'm going to ask some questions that I've asked in the past.
Okay.
If you can invent something, what would it be?
Well, I'm a coach, so I want to get out my magic wand here. If I could invent something, a time machine. I would.
Would you go forward or backwards?
I would go forward in time, and I would want to see where ADHD is. I can't wait till the time is where ADHD is nothing. It's just a difference of neurology, and we just all, kids in school know exactly what they have.
Now, I wonder if when you say that it's nothing, it's not that it's not hard, but it's the same thing.
It's not a stigma.
Where if you saw someone in a wheelchair going through a door, it would make sense you would open the door for them. If you saw a person with ADHD, you would know, okay, what is this person like?
I wish people could see it for what it is. It has a lot of strengths. And it's not the stigma of, oh, no, not ADHD, but, oh, wow, ADHD, cool. They're on our team. We're going to get some really, outstanding contributions because this person brings this to the table. That's what I mean.
If ADHD was a superhero, what would the superhero name be?
Oh my God. Man, I feel a lot of pressure right now. If ADHD was it'd be wonder, wow, awesome. I mean, I think it would go on and on and on. It just on and on and on and on. It wouldn't stop, whatever it was.
There you go. That's great. All right. Well, Deshawn, thank you so much for spending some time with me.
Thank you, Eric.
Can you just quickly tell our listeners where they can reach you?
Well, yeah. If you would like, you can get on the web. My coaching business is called ADDvantage.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. If you put any of those things in, you'll find it. So thanks, Eric, for this opportunity to talk about ACO. We really, really want a lot of people there.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Well, ADHD Rewired community, if you are new to the show, I want to thank you for listening. And if you haven't done so already, please head over to iTunes or Stitcher and leave a quick rating and review. It's a small action that you can take that can make a huge impact on others because it actually helps other people find this show. We are also on Facebook. Like our page and submit your request to join our free and growing community. And please check your other inbox because I screen everyone before they come into the group. If you live in Northern Illinois, you are invited to the Northern Illinois chapter of CHAD. We meet on the third Monday of every month in Grays Lake. We are on Facebook and meetup.com, or just check the show notes for a link. If you are not in Northern Illinois, go to chad.org, that's CHADD.org, and find a local group in your area. A quick sleep goal check-in. Sometimes taking one step back motivates me to take 2 steps forward. I got home later than I wanted to last Friday, so technically I didn't meet my goal, although I did get home in time for my son's story time. So I didn't quite make it, which is okay because I'm going to take that longer view. It was the first time I didn't make it in 6 weeks, and I'm really motivated to get right back on track with this goal because I view this goal as an anchor behavior that affects everything else I do. I will check in with you again next week to let you know how I am doing. Speaking of accountability, don't forget, if you would like to be a part of the next ADHD Rewired coaching and accountability group, let me know at erictivers.com/coaching rewired. Again, that's erictivers.com/coaching rewired. This is Eric Tivers, and I want to thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you guys again next time. Wait. Before you go, I know we already did the outro, but my son wanted to say something.
I'm listening to ADHD Rewired with my daddy.